Hey, everybody. It is the Browns post-game show on the Orange and Brown Talk podcast. I'm Dan Labbe, and kicking us off, as always, Mary Kay Cabot joining me. Mary Kay, how are you?
I'm doing great, Dan. How you doing?
Doing well. That was an exhausting afternoon of football for the Cleveland Browns. They come to Cincinnati, and they get a win. Barely, look, it was ugly. You hate that you only beat the Bengals by 3 points, and the defense didn't look good. But we got to start with one place, and there's really only one place to start, and that's the performance of their quarterback, Baker Mayfield. He was absolutely electric today after he started 0 for 5, completed 21 passes in a row, a franchise record. The streak broke on a spike to stop the clock on what was a game-winning drive. This was, I know it was just the Bengals, and I know this, to me, it doesn't matter. This was kind of Baker Mayfield's big moment this season after a week of just, getting piled on, and rightly so after that performance against Pittsburgh.
Yeah, I mean, he always plays best when his back's against the wall, right? I mean, he loves to just come out swinging when nobody wants to believe in him anymore. And he took so much criticism nationally and locally. I wrote a column last week saying that he hasn't shown yet that he's the franchise quarterback. Well, the kinds of games that he had today, that's what you have to show. You have to show that you can get the ball in your hands with 1:06 left and no timeouts remaining and take the team down the field and throw the game-winning touchdown pass. That's what you have to do to show that you can be this team's quarterback of the future. So that's a good step in the right direction for him.
So Baker Mayfield, had kind of, I don't know if this is the best game we've seen him play necessarily, but to see him rally the way that he did was so impressive, because I'll be honest, that 0 for 5 start, now he did have a drop from Kareem Hunt. So, we have to count that amongst that start. But an 0 for 5 start and the interception to start the game, we knew he was playing with a cracked rib at that point. And frankly, you start to wonder, not even performance-based, but just if he's hurt and he's not able to deliver the football, maybe you do have to just make that switch. I think that was at least starting to creep into the back of my mind. And then he comes out and just absolutely puts that to rest with a performance like this, where Joe Burrow was relentless. I mean, Joe Burrow and that Bengals offense was relentless, and I'm sure we'll talk about the defense at some point here on the show. But this was a Big 12 game, just back and forth, over and over, and Baker Mayfield kept answering the call.
He absolutely got into the zone. I mean, he just got locked in. He had guys like Rashard Higgins coming through for him. He had Donovan Peoples-Jones. He had Harrison Bryant. Austin Hooper's out with an appendectomy, and he comes through. So it was just the kind of game that you needed to see from Baker Mayfield. And look, Odell Beckham Jr. could be lost for the season with a major knee injury, and this team pulled together in the absence of losing their best receiver on Baker Mayfield's first pass of the game. And they came back, pulled it together, and pulled this out under, some trying conditions. Hooper out, Nick Chubb out, Beckham Jr. out. And now they have to deal with going forward what probably is a very serious knee injury.
And that's the other piece of this, too, is, they didn't know they were going to be without Odell Beckham Jr. That happened on the first pass of the game. And they didn't know until Friday they were going to be without Austin Hooper. Because he has the appendectomy, and they really didn't have any idea that they were going to have to kind of manage. I mean, that was very last minute. Obviously, they had a couple days to prepare, at least, to not have Hooper. But, I mean, you're throwing guys into the fire. Baker's throws to David Njoku and then Donovan Peoples-Jones were probably two of the best throws he's made all year, and throws that sort of looked like 2018 Baker. Of course, they came against the Bengals, too, speaking of 2018 Baker. But those were the types of throws that we got used to seeing Baker Mayfield make over and over and over again, just punishing defenses with his accuracy. That's got to be the most accurate he's looked all season.
Yeah, it really is. And again, as you mentioned, he kind of, he lights it up and shines against the Bengals. This was his 5th career victory against the Bengals in 17 victories. So he always, the Bengals seem to be able to bring out the best in him. And also, as I had mentioned to him, this was sort of such a duel between him and Joe Burrow. And I think Joe Burrow is going to be a major force to be reckoned with over the next, how many ever years, the next decade or whatever. He is very, very special. He was able to do this. He's a rookie. He is a rookie, and he was able to do this, losing his starting left tackle, losing his starting center, being without his starting running back. So he had some adversity as well. And until Baker took the field with 106 left, no timeouts, I thought Joe Burrow had pulled this one off. I didn't think Baker was going to do that. I have not seen him do that enough, where he goes down and takes the team down and scores the game-winning touchdown pass. I mean, he just hasn't done it enough. And it was shades of, rookie Baker. He was dancing afterwards. And it was just what the Browns need to see from him. What he needs to get his confidence back, and what fans certainly need to see from him too. Big picture wise, at 5-2, I mean, they're on pace. They're on a good pace to make the playoffs this season. They still have a lot of winnable games. And again, I know I question Baker Mayfield as the franchise quarterback, but if he continues to progress in the scheme and the system like this over his last 10 games, he has a chance to say, yes, I am the franchise quarterback, and look what I can do. And I think that's so vitally important for this football team.